Hello and welcome to Sports Today's live coverage of the fifth and final test between India and Australia at the renowned SCG, and the inevitable has happened. The reports that did the rounds on the eve of the New Year test between the two teams, well, they have proven out to be true. Rohit Sharma, quote unquote, has been rested. The India's designated captain will not be a part of the fifth and final test against Australia at the SCG, and it is Jasprit Bumrah who has walked out for the toss. And the news from the SCG is that India have won the toss and they have opted to bat in the final test here against Australia. Well, remember, India are trailing in the series. They are 1-2 behind, and they have made a couple of changes. That out of form Rohit Sharma has been rested, quote unquote, as said by now India's new skipper Jasprit Bumrah. Shubman Gill, who was left out for the fourth test at the iconic MCG, replaces him. And there's one more change, which is actually a forced change. That Prasidh Krishna has replaced Akashdeep. Prasidh is going to play his first game of the series, while Akashdeep, who played the recent two matches, well, he has been left out due to back stiffness. So I have with me Shashwat Bhalla. Well, Shashwat, your first thoughts on the team selection, beginning with the fact that designated captain is not a part of this all important test. Well, remember, India can still draw the series and retain the BGT.
I think that all the reports that have been doing the rounds since a couple of days now, I think they're starting to sort of make more sense because all the reports specifically stated from yesterday that rested is the term that is going to be used for Rohit Sharma. Neither it's going to be opted out, neither it's going to be that he is dropped. It's really funny to see that no cricket after this till the 22nd of this month, if I'm not wrong, exactly as far as dates is concerned, when cricket actually resumes. And if the reports are to be believed, that it was said that the senior players in terms of Rohit, Virat, Bumrah will be rested for the upcoming ODI series as well. T20 cricket is something that they don't play. So in that sense, resting Rohit Sharma, which was certainly going to be his last game as a test player for the country, it seems a little weird. And I think it's not, I think as a fact of the matter now, we know that maybe it was a common consensus by the whole team management, including Rohit Sharma, including the selector Ajit Agarkar, including Gautam Gambhir, and maybe even Jasprit Bumrah, where it would have been decided that maybe Rohit Sharma it does not feature in India's best 11. And I think as far as that is concerned, I think that was the absolute right call. But the only catch over here is that Rohit Sharma was the captain in this tour, and I don't remember any instance where in between a tour, a captain has been dropped. MS Dhoni in Australia last time, that was a different case. He announced his retirement and Virat Kohli took over. Here, it's a different case altogether. It's not that Rohit Sharma has announced his retirement, even though that we know that Rohit Sharma might have well played his last Test match for the country already. That happened in MCG, but I don't know. I think that how will this put the Indian team in a stronger position, or India will be on the back foot as far as the team is concerned. If we just go as far as team is concerned, I think if we just look at the runs and all of it. It did make sense to drop a Rohit Sharma and go back to a Shubman Gill because that's what the form and that's what the runs have come from for Rohit Sharma's bat suggested. But dropping a captain in the ongoing series, I again don't know. It's good. It's at least good that there's a Jasprit Bumrah who has already captained once in this series and sort of did make the team win. That's the only time that the Indian team actually won. And I think going into this test match, the Indian team should not be thinking about what's been going all around the team. For that, there's going to be 17, 18 days. I think if any, I'm not going to go into any reports, Mr. Fixit or the two youngsters that have been wanting the captaincy. I think for that, they will have a lot of time after this because the whole test team will be going into transition. Going into this test match, I think the only goal should be to draw this test match so that you can actually sort of retain the border Gavaskar trophy. But the only thing is that that I hope that the team is has that specific mindset because at the end of the day, you go in this test match, draw it. it would be a decent enough feat, especially with the kind of cricket that you have played till now. At least a good decision that the Indian team has taken is that, seeing the overcast conditions, they haven't chosen to bowl first, which we saw in Brisbane, if I'm not wrong, where the Indian team won the toss and decided to bowl first because of the reason that there were overcast conditions. That decision sort of proved to sort of be wrong later on, even though you drew the test match. Still, you sort of, once if the skies opened up and all of that, then it was a better condition. In Australia, I think it's better to bat first, and that's a positive sign that India has taken to begin with. That despite overcast conditions, the weak batting lineup, you've still gone on and actually decided to bat first.
I think, yeah, absolutely. Before we get to more parts of this discussion, let's just go through the quotes of Jasprit Bumrah at the toss. He said that our captain, obviously Rohit Sharma, has shown leadership by opting to rest in this game. That shows there's a lot of unity in this team. There's no selfishness. Whatever is in the team's best interest, we are looking to do that. And obviously, there are going to be two changes. So when we just go by the keyword here, rest, Shashwat, so in a way, our Indian team really trying to hide the fact that they have basically gotten rid of Rohit Sharma, who wasn't really at his best throughout the series in the three matches that he played. Or maybe there could really be a return of Rohit Sharma come the England tour, or a possible World Test Championship final in 2025, in June 2025 for that matter. Well, remember, if India win this test, they still stand a chance to reach the WTC final. I know that we are not really going to discuss much about it, because still India are on the ropes. They are pretty much on the brink. Another loss and India will be eliminated. But then, the way things are really happening, do you really think that India have finally gotten rid of Rohit Sharma, and there is going to be a new test captain, possibly in Jasprit Bumrah, in the next 6 months or so?
I don't think. See again, Gulati sir. I think the writing was on the wall. We very well knew that this test match is going to be the last for Rohit Sharma in any which situation. I think how things actually panned out to be in the last couple of test matches, with absolutely no runs by the bat of Rohit Sharma, just 31 runs, if I'm not wrong, for Rohit Sharma till now in the six innings that he's played. I think even if the Indian team would have actually qualified, and still if the Indian team qualifies for the final, for the WTC final, I think Rohit Sharma would not have been a part of even that, because absolutely, suddenly there was no runs for Rohit Sharma. You weren't winning the games. There were questions on captaincy, and a lot of things sort of started to happen. I think that sort of actually, see. Anyways, have been talking about this. If it would have been even a good series for Rohit Sharma and for Team India, still it was going to be very difficult for Rohit Sharma to continue as Test captain. After that, he went a couple of bad games, and then it was absolutely a certainty where we knew that there is going to be no Rohit Sharma actually moving ahead with the Indian Test team at least. But after whatever happened a couple of days back, post New Year, I would say, I think it was very very specific that there is going to be no Rohit Sharma, and since the time we know now that he's not going to be part of this Test match as well, there I think it's very very clear. Even from here, if the Indian team qualifies for the WTC final, I'm not even going till the England series. I'm saying even if we qualify for the WTC final, I see Jasprit Bumrah only captaining over there. After that, you might have a full transition, maybe have somebody else as your makeshift captain, if not Jasprit Bumrah, somebody else or a youngster, whatever that's going to be. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of time for that. There's going to be a lot of discussions. We will be able to do lots of dugouts in it and a lot of other things. And I feel that's exactly what the players in the team at this moment should feel. Because again, because I say that even though I did not agree with what Gautam Gambhir said yesterday, that if at the beginning of the series we were told that we'll be going into Sydney 2-1 with an opportunity to draw the series, that would have been a great achievement for us. I don't believe with that, because specifically after you have won 2 years, two times down under last previously whenever you've been there. But after seeing the kind of cricket you've played, kind of calls that you've taken all throughout the series, 2-1 at this point looks a reasonable. Sort of reasonable position to be in, and moving ahead, if you end up after so much happening, if you still end up, you know, drawing this series, then I think it's going to be a better feat. And I think that's exactly what the whole team should be thinking about right now. Because, like I said, everyone, even if they have their own agendas, whatever is there, I think you have a lot of time to, sort of go about that. Quite a long break after this. As of now, it should be just the test match that the players should be going for. Specifically Rohit Sharma, I think I'm going to give a lot of credit to him here. We can see him, sort of being in the team huddle, being around the coach, the stand-in captain Jasprit Bumrah, as of now, having those discussions. I think quite an important call, that quite a selfless call in that sense. Whatever said and done, people say about him that he sort of came and opened after removing KL Rahul. But to begin with, it was him only who gave KL Rahul that position even after he returned to Team India. So I think that's a great call. He would have known that maybe this could have been the ideal, sort of farewell for him if he came into the sea. Again, at the end of the day, Gulati sir, we have to realize the series is just 2-1 at this point of time. India still has a chance to retain the BGT. That's after whatever has happened. So if I just think from Rohit Sharma's perspective, even if I know as Rohit Sharma that I've been miserable all throughout the series, but I know that if I end up playing this test match and somehow we win the test match, then he's not going to leave on the kind of note he is leaving right now. It would have been absolutely a contrary situation if you end up winning this test match with a Rohit Sharma. He has still decided to opt out, deciding to leave his test career on a on a really sort of a negative note. I think that in itself tells a very, very big story, because we've seen so many players in the past who have wanted that sort of a farewell test match for themselves, wanted to leave on a high. And here Rohit Sharma, even though he had that opportunity, he, for the greater cause or whatever happened, and let's not dwell about that right now, he has still decided to opt out. I think that just shows how selfless Rohit Sharma has been over here.
Yeah, I think before we just get to the comments of the Sports Today family members, I'll just, also pinpoint a few things. One, I think a good change to have Prasidh Krishna for Akashdeep. Prasidh has done the hard yards. He's proven his fitness. So in a way, it'll be good to see him back in action in the test colors for India. Secondly, I think Australia obviously going to have a force change with Bo Webster making his debut in place of the out of form Mitch Marsh. And as far as I think Rohit Sharma is concerned, or his axing, in a way is concerned, first of all, I think I'll just take this comment of Vikas here, who said that, Bumrah clarified at the toss that Rohit has opted out, not dropped. Well, that's what we also said, that's what we also discussed in our dugout yesterday, that Rohit Sharma could be left out. There was no confirmation for that matter. It was all from the sources in the know of things, and now it has really happened. So it was not really the case of us saying that Rohit Sharma would be dropped. Well, now it has been confirmed that he has been rested, and all the reports that did the rounds yesterday, well, yes, they have proven out to be true. I don't really agree with India's decision to rest Rohit Sharma. I don't know if it's his personal decision to rest for this all important test, but then a captain not being there for an all important test, despite the fact that his form is not really good, I don't really see any merit in this kind of a decision, to be very honest. I personally wanted Rohit Sharma to be a part of India's playing 11 for this high octane test against Australia, because this is where you need your captain the most. Rohit Sharma on the previous occasions also has really stepped up for India when it has really mattered the most in those toughest of the cases. Now let's just go back to 4 5 months back, 4 5 months, and there were actually those good articles or the stories regarding the fact that Rohit Sharma is carrying forward a great legacy. He's captaining the Indian test team well. The best example was obviously India's win against Bangladesh at Kanpur, when you forced a result in just 1.5 days, for half days, knowing that there was no play was possible due to rain for a good 2 to 3 odd days. So overall, I think it's not really a good decision. You would have wanted your captain here, and to be very honest, it does make sense that if you are actually axing your captain because of his poor form, or even if he has made this personal decision, there is no harm in putting out a statement, or maybe letting the fans or the media know very clearly that yes, the captain has been left out, or he has been axed, or for that matter there is going to be a new captain. You cannot, quote unquote, rest your captain for an all important test, and that's where all the discussion lies. I'm not really sure if these kind of things associated with the Indian cricket team would ever end or not. This, if we just, once again go by the quotes of Jasprit Bumrah, well, he has obviously he's tried to be, at his very best. He has tried to put forward the situation in the best way that he can. But then we all know that Rohit Sharma has been left out. He has been dropped for that matter. And as much of a selfless decision that Rohit Sharma has probably made, assuming that it's a personal decision, I, for once, personally don't agree with this. I think India needed him, irrespective of the conditions, irrespective of the match scenario, irrespective of the series scenario for that matter. You needed your captain for this, high voltage test. Had India already been trailing 3-0 in the series, I think I would have probably understood the decision that you would want to look into the future. But now, as far as a possible spot in the WTC final is concerned, and obviously you still have a chance to draw the BGT and continue your 10-year domination against Australia in both home and overseas conditions. I think you needed Rohit Sharma. I'm surprised. I'm totally surprised with this decision. But then I think it's just my best wishes to this Indian team. I hope they put on a good show the way they started the series. Let's just hope that they end the series on that particular note only, and let's see how things really turn out to be. So before we wrap things up in the next few minutes, let's just take a few comments that. Freaking awesome. He's joined us early morning. Good morning, mate. If India will score 350 plus, they have a very good chance, as no team has scored 300 plus in the second innings at SCG, including Aussies in the WTC history. Forcing a result is going to be hard if both teams play well, though. Obviously, it's never easy, forcing a result at SCG, because it does turn out to be one of the best batting tracks as far as the conditions in down under are concerned. And remember that there is a large possibility of rain on the fifth and final day of the test here. There are 87% chances of precipitation. So yes, India would really have to treat this more as a 4-day game, and maybe their experience of playing those Ranji games, for that matter, might just turn out to be true. That's what even Dr. Dave Walker is pointing to. Freaking awesome that there is rain on day 5. As I said, 87% chances of rain. And also Dr. Dave Walker also said that also India didn't win a test since 1978. Obviously, even if you look at the 2000s also, 2003 you didn't win, 2007 8, well, it was sparked by controversy, the SCG test. 2012 you lost, 2014 also you could not really win, but once again 2018 for that matter, India did have a chance to win the SCG test, but then it was marred by rain. India were clearly ahead in the contest, and then in 2022, India, led by Ashwin and Hanuma Vihari, they pulled off a highest by batting out a lot of overs and drawing the test for that matter. And we are joined by Harshit Ahuja. Harshit, before we take any more comments, first thoughts on Rohit being quote unquote rested for this all important test.
Okay, so I've chosen to join at the very end for a reason, um, uh, and let me tell our viewers why exactly that is the reason. Uh, this series. Let's just go back a couple of weeks when the series started. It had started with. Jasprit Bumrah walking out at the toss, winning the toss also that time. India decided to win, and I said this yesterday as well. Let's hope with Jasprit Bumrah now returning, if that's the case, hopefully things come to a full circle and India end up winning as well, as just as the way that the series had started. Now I heard Gulati speak as well, and I heard his thoughts yesterday. The series had also started. Let's not forget with Sashwat getting into a bet. And if Sashwat got into a bet, and we all know how it turned out to be, he honored his bet. Gulati also entered a little bet yesterday, which he has now lost, and that means that I and the other teammates don't have to worry about dinner come Sunday because that's what he promised. He's getting his biryani if it is indeed Jasprit Bumrah who walked out to the toss for the Indian team, and that's exactly how it's turned out to be. So this has
I
to be
I
put on
started
record.
I started the tour with a bet that I lost, but I definitely ended it with a bet that I won. Yesterday, even I entered a bet with our editor Love, and I have also ended up
You,
winning that. So that has definitely changed by the end
I,
of the season.
I told you, Sashwat, that was a win-win situation.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
an absolute win-win situation, and yeah, I just thought this should also be out there in terms of just putting the record straight. So Gulati is shocked, but I'm happy.
No, I'm not shocked. In a way, I'm not really happy with the decision
No,
that.
there is a reason for Indian cricket to be shocked right now. Two things actually for me, two takeaways for me over here. The first takeaway being, oh, there was a little effect over there, wasn't there? The
Yeah, there
balloons I
was.
saw. Anyway, the two big takeaways for me. There is reason, Gulati. I feel there is the reason to be shocked. One, because it's happened for the very first time, if I recall, in the history of Indian cricket, that an incumbent, a sitting captain, has been dropped midway through a series. Now, remember, we've had change in captains, and MS Dhoni decided to retire. Kumble decided to retire. It all happened again Australia. But those were decisions that were made by the then captains on their own accord. This wasn't forced on them, it was a decision made by themselves. In Rohit Sharma's case, he has been made to sit out. Now, that's number one. That's the first big takeaway, and it's a bit of a shocker in Indian cricket. It opens up a bigger debate about why, and possibly it was for these situations, these circumstances, that you got in somebody like an Ajit Agarkar who would have had a very active role to play over here in this decision. So that's number one. Number two, for me, you're still shy of using the word dropped as far as Indian cricket is concerned. You don't like using that word, and that's again, I think, a reminder for all of us. The word not being selfish, or the phrase not being selfish, and the word united was being used by the stand-in captain Jasprit Bumrah. But again, a reminder that in Indian cricket, you don't like using the word dropped. It wasn't mentioned by Gautam Gambhir yesterday, and it wasn't mentioned by Jasprit Bumrah today. So those are the two big takeaways for me.
Absolutely.
Only one person I think is going to be happy with, him dropping or resting is definitely Harshit sir, you yourself, because I think you were ready with your TV work if Rohit Sharma was not going to be part of this team. So
I
that's going
I
to go
told
to waste.
I told Gulati very well that today it's going to be fireworks, and the fireworks have been set off. So also part of the reason why I decided to join late was to ensure that everybody who is concerned with television also knows about this, because in another hour or so it's going to be absolute fireworks. And I can also, just a little information for everyone over here. I do happen to know somebody who, at the moment, is at the Sydney cricket ground, and he tells me, and he's getting a very good view of the Indian dressing room. uh, and he was telling me that there is a lot of chaos around toss time in the Indian dressing room. The chatter around there, because the once the word trickled into the fans as well, because after a point it sort of became clear, because you weren't seeing Rohit Sharma around as much as you would have wanted him to see. So things are really, really now getting heated in the Indian dressing room as well. Just around the dressing room, the mood has completely changed now at the Sydney cricket ground. So yeah, we're in for absolute entertainment today.
Yeah. So the players have stepped onto the field, and the first ball will be bowled in no time. I'll take just one final comment, and we'll wrap things up. Abdul Rahman, he says that he asks that did we make a blunder at the toss to bat first on that grassy pitch? I don't think there's much to look into the green tinge that is usually there on the SCG track, on the SCG surface for that matter. I think it's usually good for batting. There may be some help for the bowlers in the first maybe first hour or so, but then if you can just hang in there, I think run scoring will be pretty much easy, and that's where I think Bumrah has probably made a bold decision to bat first. And let's see how things really turn out to be. We will be back with the post day life of how things really panned out on the opening day of the fifth and final test. It is going to be full panel with the discussion regarding Rohit Sharma, quote unquote, being rested, and obviously how the on field action played out. So until then, on behalf of Harshit and Shashwat, it's Siddharth Gulati saying goodbye. Stay tuned to Sports Today as we'll bring you all the latest updates and analysis from the sporting world.